episode of Random Guy Art Night on the 999 ASMR Tarot Visual Textures. And tonight we're going to be doing something new. I've never painted on this product before. This is AQUABORD. I have painted on clay board, but this is a different textured type of panel. So there are 4 of these to a pack, 5x7, 1/8 inch thick, and we're going to do this image on that. And so this is pretty much a 5x7 piece of art. And so without much further ado, we're going to get crack-a-lacking here. So I don't really know how well this is going to behave with acrylics. I think it's designed for watercolor. So we shall see. And since we're doing kind of AQUABORD, I thought that the Page of Cups would be the most appropriate energy to try to manifest tonight. It's got a nice texture. This is probably also would be good for pastels as well. Okay, I'm going to put this right over here, and I'll be referring to it. It is a representation of haystack rocks at Cannon Beach, Oregon. And so I took the liberty of putting the paints out. So we're going to be building the sky, and then probably not going to have too much water, because in our reference photo, I've showed the reference photo a few times before. So we're going to go without the reference photo, when we're going to go directly into creating kind of the sky colors. And that sky color is sort of a lavender color. We're going to go with a lavender here, and I'm going to create that lavender with primary cyan and this fluorescent pink or fluorescent magenta, however you want to call it, because fluorescent magenta by Golden Open is that color. In the Amsterdam series of paints, it's fluorescent fuchsia. So we're going to add in a whole bunch of this of the titanium white in there to make a nice lavender color, because in the original photograph that I had, the sky was kind of a toned down lavender color. It was like really close to dusk, and the sunset, I think the sun was over here in this area, but I'm really not quite sure. But over here there were all these nice blues to lavender colors and this big streak of red right across the sky. And so we're going to just try to replicate this on this AQUABORD, and hopefully I won't screw it up. But I'm going to start here with a lighter value of these colors, and just kind of put it in here, up here. We'll start light, and then we'll just build up. And so my water line is going to be about here, and so I might just go in and, well, maybe some other time I'll draw a cake, but you can go in, you can try drawing that yourself. Kea and Haley, welcome to Random Guy Art Night. I'm going to bring up the tone here. Well, I don't even know what you look like, Game Boy. So the texture is kind of bumpy. And if you can kind of listen here, can you hear that? I'm going to bring it up to the mic. Can you hear that? It's the texture of this AQUABORD. So I think it is. Didn't say on the package that it was for pastels, but I really kind of believe it is. So we're just going to put this over here, and then I'm going to come in with another brush, and I'm going to build another part of the sky, which is maybe right over here, like some red. I'm going to take this red, I'm going to tone it down. My favorite piece of art is an oceanscape that I painted in 2019, and it took me almost a year to do it. And I'm going to add into this just a tad bit of this primary yellow in there, just some little bit of primary yellow. Get a slight orangey tone, a bit more than that. It's actually quite large. I have posted it on a community post like last week, a picture of it. But it's 12 by 24. Add Bob Ross in there. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll add some Bob Ross. I think I'll put a little bit of this in here too, just to bring in some different values here. A little bit more of the red. I want to bring up that red up just a bit more. So this is kind of like a rose color here. So we're going to run that right here across here being the horizon line. And so the it's kind of, there we go. That's a good spot for the horizon line. Okay, so that is what I have for that zone. I need something to wipe my brushes down with. I don't always think to bring everything in here before I turn the camera on. But we've done that, but maybe I'm going to take a little bit of this and bring in some different values of some red in here, blending it down in there. Just kind of working on it a little bit. Maybe a little bit more of this. We'll just run the titanium white, and it makes it a nice pinkish color. We'll just pull that all the way across the screen. Yeah, thank you. Well, we'll see how it turns out. Maybe you'll have a different opinion if you stay clear out to the end. Maybe a little bit more over here. Let's just see. Well, if we add in a little of this primary yellow in here, kind of give it a more of an orangey tone, and bring up the colors. This surface has a lot of teeth to it, the surface of the AQUABORD. And as I said in the title, I've actually never painted with this particular material before, but I have painted with claybord, and so it's a nice textured piece of for, you know, when you use these harder surfaces like this, the material doesn't buckle when you add a whole lot of paint onto the surface. And because that's kind of the drawback a little bit with painting on paper, is that when you put a lot of paint into it, that it will buckle. And so, like, if you've ever watched people do watercolors, you'll notice that when you paint with watercolor, you need to tape your paper down, because when you start adding all that water into the into the into their paints, and you're putting all that onto the surface, you will notice that just everything that the paper buckles. I don't know how to say it other than that, but that's that. And so might take in just a little bit more of this up here, these purples. Come in, we'll do some directly onto it, some more primary cyan, just some colors like that over here. And then I'm going to, at this point in time, this area in the original picture was a sort of a creamy yellowy color. It was like this fluorescent yellow with white. Now, if I start adding that in here at this phase, it is going to turn green, and I really don't want the sky to turn green. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to pencil in, without getting this thing all covered in paint, I'm going to pencil in these rocks. And so this is where the water line is, roughly. And so we got a rock. It kind of looks like this. If you've ever been on the Oregon coast before, there are a lot of haystack rocks right off the sea. And where this picture was taken was in a place called Cannon Beach. And in Cannon Beach, there is really a lot of these. So you kind of start seeing them when you go right around Pacific City and north. So if you go now south, like Lincoln City, then you don't see as many of these sort of things out. Actually, in Lincoln City, there is Lincoln City and south in Oregon. There is no haystack rocks out there. So it's just a north coast kind of a thing, from like Seaside down to Pacific City. So off in the distance, there's just a little one, and maybe just a little faint one over here. And so that's just kind of penciling things in. That's one of the things that you can do when you paint. You can, because you're going to kind of, they don't look exactly like this, but it's fine. It's fine. So now I'm going to go in and do that other zone, and I'm just going to use this watercolor brush right here to form this other region. Then we'll just come back in and bring in more colors to make it look really nice here. So this is kind of the area in the sky where the sun is at. And kind of just bring this across. Hopefully it doesn't turn green. It's turning green just a little bit here. But we'll put a bit more in here. A little bit more of this fluorescent yellow up there. Maybe some of this primary yellow too. I think if the mic was a little bit more sensitive, you could actually hear the sound of the brush across the surface of the AQUABORD. If you're using this as a sleep aid, You can imagine what it sounds like. I'm going to come in here, a little bit more of this. A little bit of a streak. Different streaks of that light, just lighting up the clouds. Lighting up the clouds. Come in with some straight up white, and we'll kind of pull it in here. Don't worry about that you drew that in. That's just for a point of reference. Just a little bit of a point of reference in for you. I'm going to take some of this color and we'll put it up here. We'll come back up in here. Just kind of pull this brush across. Now, of course, it did get some greenish tones in there. We'll come back in with some red, just some straight up red. Now that's just way too much red, but that's okay. We'll just take in some more blue and we'll bring it up here. Just adding layers. The more layers you have sometimes, the better it is. Adding the layers on. You get more of these layers and it brings more depth to your painting. Come back in here with this fluorescent red. Pulling it across the page, across the canvas. Maybe at this point in time, this painting ceases to be like the reference photo. And that's okay too. We have the reference image, and now we are going into our imagination to create a new picture. Maybe we have like these streaky clouds coming through here. Your impressionistic sky. The impression of the sky. I'm going to pull this down here as the water line. And pull in some more of this white. We can add more layers, and it can add to the depth of the image. Sometimes it feels like you do something and you've ruined the picture, but you can just keep adding layers down. And I'm not going to add any more over there, but I may come back in and build this color up over here just a bit. And got that red. So what's in the sky is also in the water. The sky and the water reflect. The water is a mirror of the sky. I'm going to just go right on here. This color makes it kind of an orangey color. Before I start putting the haystacks in, I need to just come into a place where I am comfortable with what the skyline looks like. It does have a nice streakiness of the colors. We're building these colors up. Let's go another layer of this stuff here. Just a little bit here. Just layering it up. And let me take a look here how this looks as a background. When we start putting the foreground in, it should start to look a little bit better. At this point in time, I do feel like I ruined it though. But after all, this is my first time painting on AQUABORD. It's going to bring these brilliant colors in. Come back with the primary cyan. I'm going to mix it with the fluorescent red, the fluorescent magenta, in order to give it that really nice, pretty lavender color. And we'll make it a little bit stronger on the fluorescent red side. And down here like that. Kind of breaks. I'm just going to put a little bit in here in the water too. Okay. Let's come back in and put some more titanium white in. Streaky clouds. Just streaky horizontal clouds. That's the color. Try to take that muddy feeling away. Color feels just a little bit muddy over here. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bum, bum, bum. I need to plug my hair dryer in to give this surface a bit of a blow. Gotta blow the surface dry just a little bit. So I'll be right back. I'm not really going very far. Sometimes you do need to do this to, if you are, because acrylics dry fast, but they don't dry that fast. So sometimes it's necessary to dry out some layers there. I'm going to pull this color all the way across. Fluorescent green, because it's going to break on the surface. Sounds like it's raining outside. Put a lot of this color in. It doesn't look like the picture anymore. So we're going to discard the picture. Put that on the side. And everything else we're going to do from here on out is coming right straight out of the imagination. Sometimes it is best to not use a reference image at all and just go on memory and feel, and to feel on how you think it should be. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right here. I come in here with the white. I'm just going to bring it in here. Cloud breaking on the surface. Just there in the distance. I'll clean my brush a little bit. And I'll go back in and work on these other tones again. I'm going to reapply this rose sort of yellow color. I'm going to be this orangey color over here. Coming in here and trying to not apply enough water onto it so it doesn't have that muddy sort of a tone that isn't toned out like mud. Trying to reverse the image of it being a muddy tone. Come back in here with this fluorescent magenta coming over the surface. This whole area is going to be obscured behind rocks, so it's okay. I'm going to try to bring in just a tad bit more light over here. So peeking out from behind the rocks will be just a little bit of light. It's better to do it at this stage than trying to do it after you put the rocks in place. And because this is at sunset, all the rocks are silhouetted, and you don't necessarily need to worry about details. So the details of and shape of the rocks, well, because you can't see it anyway. When the sun's on the horizon, you can't see the details of anything on the horizon. All you see is the shapes, the outline of those features, those landmarks, with the trees and everything. It just looks like that. I'm going to put that in here. This is probably the wrong brush to use, but just use light strokes, light strokes. Feels like this paint already got too gloopy, but we're just going to put it down here. This is, for the most part, a watercolor brush, but I'm using it for acrylics. And I actually don't have any watercolors in my collection of paints. I do have wax pastels, and wax pastels are water soluble, and I have water soluble colored pencils, or watercolor pencils. So you can use them for both, as use it for both watercoloring, and I think it's starting to look a little bit better now than when it first started out. I'm going to leave these values in here like that because it adds to the depth of what we have here. I might come over it with a blender brush, and just to try to smooth out. Yeah, here we go. Just a little bit here. Use this blender brush. And see how that has sort of smoothed things out, and you're putting that color way in the distance. At this point in time, it kind of reminds me of like artist representations of Jupiter, like the clouds on Jupiter. So we're just going to do a little bit more of this. This is a dry brush. If you're just starting out painting, the most important piece of advice I can give you is to be patient. Is to just be patient and do a lot of practice. Because very often your expectations and reality do not match. What you have in your brain of what you imagine you can do and what you can do are two entirely different things. And as you can see here with this, just using this dry brush on here, how it really helped smooth things out and bring things in here. Now, probably there's something I could do here. Oh yeah, gel medium. That is probably something I should have been doing all along, using gel medium on here. And I think I'll just put it on the surface here just a little bit. And then I'm going to start building those rocks. And clean that off. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put it in over here just a little bit here. And paint right on top of it. Gel medium is essentially glue. That's essentially what gel medium is. It dries up clear and transparent, and it can help to liven up the colors just a little bit. So we come back in over here and bring those streaks in and see how that affects it. Let's come over here with the red. And then come down here with the yellow mixed in here, and bring it up here. Just that last layer of color. We'll put more of the gel medium in here in order to waken up these colors a bit more, make them more brilliant, more vivid. Just working on the sky. And what do you think? I think that looks pretty damn good. So we're going to build the foreground now. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to clean off my brushes. And if I were Bob Ross, I'd be using my be dipping my brush in a bucket of paint thinner, and I'd be beating the hell out of that brush. You know, we made that nice beating noise. Beat the hell out of the brush. Unfortunately, I'm dealing with water-based paints, not oil-based paints, and so we're not beating the hell out of the brush. But I'm always imagining that I'm beating the hell out of the brush. All right. Now I'm going to use this as a watercolor brush. And I find that it's taken me years to be able to paint smooth lines. If you're just joining us, this is Random Guy Art Night on the 999 ASMR Tarot. And I'm going to put these haystacks in, which they kind of look just about like this. And if you like what you see, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. That's providing you like it. I don't know if you may not like it at all. You may think it's really boring. But that's okay. If you're looking for a sleep aid, sometimes boring is nice. I'm going to make this rock kind of like that. I'm freehanding it. Makes it look kind of like that. Last night, I started working on an oracle deck of my own creation. If we have time, I may work on stenciling putting some stencils on it, on the back of it, but I might actually just bring it out. It kind of has like magic 8-ball answers, but not really. I modeled it after the Magic 8-Ball answers. But then I put stuff in my own words and made it my own words. I want to get kind of a harder edged line on the back side. It's a little bit hard with the texture of this AQUABORD. And this is just carbon black in here. I really don't use very much black, so I just find it just works better if you just put some in a little tiny jar and use it as you need it. Kind of, this one's the closest rock. On a really super low tide, you can actually walk out to this rock. Though it's been a long time since I've been to Cannon Beach. I generally skip over Cannon Beach and go directly to Seaside, but when I do go to Seaside, it's for a family reunion in the springtime family reunion. And just put this in here. Some gray it out. Just gray it a little bit. I guess the next time I use this AQUABORD, I'm probably not going to paint on it. I think I might go use those wax pastels I have in order to create some kind of an image. I wasn't really sure how this stuff would even look on there, but you know, the colors are pretty brilliant on there, as you can see. You know, Pacific City, there's a tunnel. There's a tunnel through one of these rocks, but the rock is actually right on the shore, and they built a tunnel in it, or there was a natural tunnel, I'm not really sure, but you can go walk through that. That's not a Pacific City, that's an Oceanside. That's right, Oceanside. Oceanside is a bit north of Pacific City by like 30 miles or so, but it seems like it takes forever to get there when you drive. And it's like unincorporated Netarts, and it's really more a part of Tillamook County. So it's a town that's not incorporated anymore. But it's got a couple restaurants, a really nice park. And then there's these cabins that you can rent, like hotel rooms, that there's this whole row of them. And then the houses are built up into the cliffs. It almost seems like a scene from the movie Hook. If you've ever seen the movie Hook with Robin Williams. I know it's a long time ago when that movie came out, like in the 90s, maybe even the late 80s. But that is a great film. But where Robin Williams plays Peter Pan as an adult who goes back to Neverland. But Neverland, Oceanside reminds me of Neverland. And it's been a couple of years since I've been there. I haven't been there since before I got the COVID really bad, and my old mom got the COVID, and she spent time in the hospital, and so we haven't really been able to go very far since then. So I think this sunset's going to look really good with the colors here. Putting these rocks in the foreground. It's different. It's different than the reference photo or the reference painting. But that's okay. It's all about bringing what's in your mind's eye to life. Breathing life into something that you imagine. You imagine how it should be. Let's come in with this gel medium and see if I can smooth it down a bit more. Make it look a little bit more glossy. Yeah, this is going to thin this paint out and I'll put it right in there. You know, I might actually put some of this blue in it too. Kind of will bring it up, give it some brilliant tones. Eventually I'm going to do this painting in a little bit larger size. I'm in the planning stages of putting together an Etsy store. And I'm just kind of lighten the black up just a little bit with this blue. So it makes it kind of a grayed down color. And who knows, maybe it might look that way too, but you know, it's okay because what about some of this red? Mix it in, mix it kind of brown. Yellow and red make brown. Yellow, red with a bit of black makes brown. I'm hoping that you guys watching this find it relaxing. Maybe even relaxing enough to close your eyes and go to sleep. Looks nice. We're going to take this one over here, use that same color. Kind of just Just a faint little thing in the background. It's way, way back out there, out in the sea. And there we go. That's how we'll do it. And as you can see by getting that background in there really, really good, you can see how the light just wraps around these rocks out there as the sun is setting. And so we're going to be wanting to put in the water a bit more of these red and yellow tones like that, just in order to get that reflexive quality. And I think this is where the shoreline should be, right about here. And then there'll be just a little bit of a mix up in the zone. So we're going to block that color out now. And I think I really kind of want to use more of a yellow oxide, but I think I'm going to make that yellow oxide from the colors that I have right here. So use this brush. I really don't like colors to go to waste by the end of the day, so let's just use this brush. I'm going to mix it down because this color is getting a little bit on that side. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to make that. Let me just take all of this stuff here. I'm going to run it right over here. I'm going to add a little bit more of this red to it. That's a little bit too much. And Blue Star Anime World, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Random Guy Art Night. I think it needs a little bit more blue. I can actually just run black into it, but you know what? Black is made out of all the primary colors mixed together fairly equally. So this makes kind of a brown tone. And we're just going to roll this in here. A little bit thicker down here. Not too much more than that. There we have our sand. I think I'm going to want to lighten it up a bit with a bit more titanium white, and we're going to just mix that right down onto the AQUABORD here. Thank you. It was kind of touch and go there. At first, I thought I ruined it, but more lighter colors over here. And the reference photo, which I don't have, but I have it on a thumbnail from like last week or something like that. That has there's a lot more blues in here. And at this close to dark, you really wouldn't see colors quite like this. It would be a lot darker, but we're going to block it in first with these colors, and then I'm going to bring those colors up. I'm going to bring them up a bit, and so it is kind of a lot like the color of sand. Come in here, a little bit darker there. Now, we're not going to be seeing any waves coming on up, so I could have used like a reference photo like this. Actually, a picture. This is a local artist, a local from where I live, and just painted just on a piece of plywood. And I'm going going to just come in here with a little bit of this red. I'm just going to just put a whole bunch of different colors on here. I'm going to blend them down. Oregon. I'm on the west coast of the United States. Kind of right smack in the middle. Well, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so California is about the same length as Oregon and Washington. Actually, Oregon and Washington is a little bit shorter than California. So where I'm at is pretty much on the 45th parallel. So you look at the globe at the 45 degree mark away from the equator. That's about where I'm at on the equator, the 45 degree mark. And I'm kind of liking. You're an Indian from like India, or are you indigenous American? I have cousins that are Macaw, Indian. The Macaw was two of my first cousins are Macaw Indian, from Nia Bay. I think I'm going to get this gel medium down here, bring it down on here, bring that color into it. Maybe I ruined this already. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my blender brush out. I'm going to bring these colors out. I'm just going to scrape them down here like this. Some of those colors are going to get into my my name, my first name. I go by, people call me Bill, but I just kind of think of myself as some random guy on YouTube doing stuff. And my channel is an angel number 999, and I'm doing a lot of visual texture things that could be like an autonomous sensory meridian response in the right context. And then I do some tarot content. I do those kinds of things. Angel numbers, art, visual textures. Where I'm doing tarot is mostly I'm working on a sort of a. I'm working on my own tarot card deck, but I'm not going to be. I'm going to be doing an impressions of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot and going through the pip cards. Okay. So you're a new channel? Yeah. So using that blender brush here helps to just so where it looked like I had made a huge mistake, but I kind of corrected that. Well, I will check your channel out, but just not right now because I'm doing this live on my telephone, and I'm going to put in here just a little bit of black. Just a little bit of black towards the foreground back here. Just a little bit here. Not too much more than that. Maybe just a bit here like that. I'm going to go back in with my blender brush just to blend it in. Oh, you're new to my channel. I get you. So do you do content? Do you do content, Blue Star Anime World? And then from here, that's all, pretty much all the black I'm going to put in here at this particular time. I'm going to come back in and get this primary cyan. I'm going to put it down here because just make it kind of reflection of this up here. It's darker up here than up here. Thank you for subscribing. So did you put me up to like 800 subs then? So like last night I worked on this. Last night was my 24-month anniversary of this channel, and I made a like an oracle deck. And what I was going to do with it is I was going to put stencils on the back. I was thinking about doing it tonight, but I really wanted to do this instead. And doing the stencils could actually be too boring to be done. I just might do that on my own. And I think on top of this, I want to put that red back in here. Yeah, I think that's going to look pretty good here. Just have some impressionistic here. Maybe a little bit over here. A bit of colors. I think I want to take and also yellow highlights, maybe some of this, what's left of this primary yellow. Makes it kind of a greeny tone, which is okay, because it is a bit sand. Let me see if I can get that. Let's see if I can get some more of this out. I don't really want to take any more out of the tube. But we're going to put this down here as well. These are your yellow highlights from the sun. I'm going to bring it up a little higher. Being that it's water, it's okay for there to be green water. That's okay. Green sky is not necessarily okay, but bring this up here. This clay, this surface of this canvas has a lot of teeth to it, and you can hear it here. And so it kind of made it a little bit difficult to paint on that surface because of the teeth that it has on there. I kind of like this red in here. This brilliant red coming up. You know, I feel like I need to use some more of this gel medium. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're just going to be mixing that in. Just taking our time. I think I'll have the whole thing done in like 30 minutes from now. 40 minutes tops. I don't really want to rush it too much. Let's come in on top of this with the white. The water could be coming up here like that. Maybe the water comes up all the way up. You don't know. You're just kind of, you're standing there looking back at it. Okay, I'm going to just block that in. That's just like that for now. And then we're going to come in and I'm going to build. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. Drop some water right on here. Happy accidents, huh? As Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. So on Saturday night, I painted this. Here's both sides of the rock. And okay, let's make water. And I'm going to make water, we're going to use a lot of this gel medium. And I'm going to be making it with sky colors. Let's just tone down. Take this blue. I'm going to take the blue. I'm going to mix it in with the gel medium and some of the titanium white. I'm going to make water. We're going to start up light color values, and then we're going to bring it up. So water kind of looks like this. If you're painting on a larger surface, you're going to want to use more short strokes and a lot of little stuff like this because it helps to bring out the sense that it's moving. And that the water is moving. It's moving, it's bumpy. It has waves on the surface. And if you're far enough away, you don't really see those waves like that. And like, for instance, if you've ever been to Waikiki, let me see, I have that photograph here someplace. Nighttime Waikiki photo. Where did I put that at? Maybe it's over here. Here's one that I painted about a month ago. A unrealistic sunset here. But anyways, I spent one of my birthdays several years ago in Waikiki. And in February, I went in February, March area. It was close to my birthday. It wasn't exactly, but it was in the same vicinity of those months anyway. I think I want to add some red to it too. Give it some purpley colors. Motions here. Granted, the waves are coming in this way. They're not going that way. So we're not just trying to bring in a sense of motion. That we got some motion here, and a lot of times it's just a matter of imagining. What do you imagine it to look like? And that's kind of, you're imagining what the water looks like, but you also have to think of where the light's at. And oftentimes in your imagination, you don't factor the light into it. So you have to be mindful of those factors. And then because we are at sunset, sun's over here, and it's going to have a lot more, like over here, a little more yellow value. So when we come into the final, I'll use the last of that fluorescent yellow and to put highlights on here. I'm probably going to pull out my hair dryer again just to quicken the process up. And I like how the gel medium is, how it's just picking up these colors. Kind of thin down. It thins it down in a different way than if you thin it down with water. It brings like substance to it. It's taken me years to figure out how to paint with gel medium. I've been painting since 2016. I kind of started in 2015 a little bit, but come back in here. We want that, try to get that lavender color going on here. Take this color here, bring that up. I don't want the rust color, I want the lavender. Just little side-by-side motions here. We're just layering it in just because this is what water looks like. Water looks like this. Don't forget about the edges over there. Well, I got this thing licking up to the side there. Because it is the ocean, you really can't see the reflection of these rocks underneath because of how turbulent the waves are. You can't see that, but we will put some darker tones in here just to see that there is that kind of giving that 3D effect here. And we're going to go use some more gel medium. This is what we're going to be using a lot of in this painting. I really just want to bring out that silkiness, bring out the silkiness of the colors. I think I want to, no, not yet. Be patient, Bill. And let's get more of this though. I'm going to get in with this color here. And just bring it in there. It's in the sky. Coming around on the surface, the sand. It's nice, actually. It's really a relaxing feeling. Need to work on this area here. It's almost done. Almost done. Patience is paramount to painting. As is adding layers. One of the things I like about this is that out here, that the water is also the same color as the sky out in the horizon. And that's it's kind of neat. That it's a neat effect, because sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that when you go out and you, right when the sun's on the horizon. I need a drink of water here. You just kind of put your imagination caps on and just try and envision an ideal sunset. And then you try to recreate it. Come up here with the white crests of the surf. The waves cresting. I really like this color in the background. I'm really, really liking that. Maybe just clear out here just a little bit of white. I think I'm going to go and do my other brush, which is this one. Oh, it's got paint in it. I got to pull the paint out. I only have one like this. Well, I have it, but I don't want to drip the paint on my painting. Not right now, not like I did the last time. Pull the paint right out. I don't want it to get it on there. Okay. So I got most of the paint out of it. And we're going to come in and using this like it were a palette knife and bringing this across, making a thin line clear over there. And thin lines. Paint's really gloopy on there. We want to get that gloopy paint off of there. And get just some little thin lines. In here. You know, you can just kind of imagine that the surf is just right out there. Coming up a little closer. There's more of it. Little waves. In the front here, a lot more white caps. blending the paint. The water just looks turbulent here. Like it's roiling and boiling and moving forward, just forever and ever moving forward, and it is pouring outside right now. There was a feature that I wanted to go back in and do, and I'm going to come in with this blue, and I'm going to take just a little bit of this carbon black. And we will, not quite sure, well, let's put it over here. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to mix it with the blue. I need to see what it's going to look like. Where's my blotter at? I don't want to do that. I don't ruin these things out. Piece of paper. Where did I put that piece of paper at? Use that? No. Poetry books and everything. I don't want to use that. We'll use this over here. A little bit more blue. Maybe a little red. It's too much, but there we go. That actually doesn't look bad. And what we're going to do with this is I'm going to put shadows in the water. I'm going to put the shadows of the haystack rock. Just kind of bringing it across here. It's there. Reflection of the rock on the surface. Maybe just a little bit over here. It's a suspension of belief. You wouldn't see it, like I've said before, in the ocean. You can't see this stuff. But it is there. If the ocean were calm, you would see a reflection of this rock right in the water. And so we're kind of just putting it in there. We're just going to put it in there just to get a hint that it's there. And I'm going to go back in over here and finish going through. Yeah, I got the darker colors on here, and then we are moving this back in here. Just little short strokes side to side, just to get an illusion of motion. The illusion of motion. I might just, in this stage here, I'm going to pull my hair dryer out again, and I'm going to do the surface of this, and then, which will make it, just to dry it up just a little bit here. That should be enough so that when I go and add the final layers on there, it's not going to mush together. And that's what's been happening here. I've been totally been seeing that. I don't know if you guys have been able to see it, but I've been seeing how I've had too many layers of paint on here. Now, being that I was unfamiliar with how AQUABORD behaves, which is absolutely true because I've never painted on AQUABORD before. Because it had a little bumpy surface of it. It's kind of like sandpaper. It felt like sandpaper a lot. And what I'm doing right now is I'm cleaning off my brushes and getting ready for to do the final layer on the water, just to bring up the just to get that 3D quality here. Because if you look at it, it does look pretty 3D right now. It has a 3D. It looks like you could actually step right into it. And so I'm really satisfied with how this painting looks. I'm gonna go one last time with some more of the gel medium. Is there stuff on here that? Oh well, I can't do anything about it. It has these little black spots on there. I don't know what that is. Come back in with the gel medium just a little bit more. Let's put it on my brush. And I'll just kind of put it in here. It'll help shiny up the colors a bit. What this Golden Open gel medium does is it slows down the drying process. So your paints stay liquid longer, because acrylics dry really fast. They dry really, really fast. And so if you're painting outdoors in the heat, your paints will dry up long before and so you end up feeling like you're wasting a lot of paint when you paint outdoors in warm weather with acrylics, simply because they dry so damn fast. I'm running these layers on here, and see, I did use that hair dryer, and some of this titanium white did dry on there, which is good. It gets that effect. I'm going to put some more titanium white mixed with this, and so maybe we have some more waves coming in here. More waves, which is okay. We want that water to look really turbulent. I'm going to bring it up here just a little bit on the sand. Get a sense of that there is a wave there. So that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And then we'll come back in with this gel medium, and it'll go right over the back of it. And so some of those colors will just blend right into it. Kind of give it that glassy feel, or that liquidy feel. Over here, hints of the shadow, it's all still there. Over here it's a little bit rough. A little bit rough over here. We're going to smooth it down. Smooth down some of these spots. Blend it in. Smooth it down. Blend it in. smooth it down. The process kind of repeats there. Back in with the white. Just a little bits of white caps out there. See how that looks? I'll just bring it up a little closer so you can take a look. All those little tiny white lines out there, you get a sense of the surf. It looks really dynamic. I like this. I really like this. Sometimes I just don't feel that way when I get done with a painting. And it takes someone else to take a look at it and say, hey, it's not so bad. Take a look at it the next day. Just little white lines out there. Get a sense of motion. Hopefully you don't do it too much. One of the things that's difficult is to know when to quit. Know when to quit. One of the things I really like about this brush is that with the real long bristles on there. Because I used to use a different brush type altogether, and I could never get it to behave the way I wanted to. But just within the last year, I started being able to get the brushes to behave right. And so I'm going to come up here and take some, I'm going to put some of this in here. High up clouds. High up clouds. Kind of a layer in there so it, there. And what do you think? If I were selling this piece of art, what price should I put on it? For this size? And then it took about 90 minutes to do. I guess it depends on how much a painter's labor is worth on a dollars per hour basis. There we go. Little lines up there. Finishing touches. Just a little bit back there in the surface. That. There. Okay. And then we're going to do the last thing is some more yellow of the fluorescent yellow highlights. And as Bob Ross would call it, we're just going to put a few sparkles in the tree. We're just going to put a few sparkles in the tree to get that sense that it's just shimmering and sparkling in the light of the sun. Over here. There's a few sparklers in here. You can feel that sun coming in, down on the surface. Kind of there, reflecting the transparent light up here. And the sun just reflecting in these in-between zones over here. Feel that sun just reflecting on the water. You can get a sense of it if it's just kind of in this band here. You can see it over there, but maybe it's just off sight. It's there in the sky, making a shaft of light through the water. Paint's almost too dry. It's almost too dry, but here we go. There. What do you think? It's relaxing, isn't it? Kind of go in here. A bit more of it up here in the sky. Maybe over here. Bit of streaks of that sun. Up here. Cover up that area that looks green. Just a few little last minute details. I'm going to have to wrap this up really soon because I know the battery on my phone is about ready to go. But I think I need a little bit more black on that rock though. Just to I'll use this brush here. It's got some spots where the background is still shining through. I don't want it to drip into the water. It's really liquidy, so I'm not going to hold this painting up at all. Kind of like that. Okay. Definitely don't want that black running down the side of the mountain into the water. Okay, now where were we? We were just doing sparklers. A little bit of sparklers in the sky. Maybe it's like that. I don't know. Far away rock. I'll go fix it later. Generally, darker colors represent deeper water. I'm going to put this over here. Too. It just looks like there's a mist over there. a mist. Hmm. A little bit of bits. It just feels like the water's moving. Maybe a little bit more over here. Little bits. Moving water. There. I don't want to ruin it, but I still at the same time I want that effect of rough waters. Maybe there's a wind blowing. There could be. You can have a beautiful sunset like this with the wind blowing. And the wind always blows on the Oregon coast, kicking up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Not every day. Usually, a lot of days though. I don't live too far from the coast myself. Wind kicks up around 3 o'clock every day. Let's go back with water. Do I have any more of this gel medium over here? Kind of going over it. Does look like it's just boiling. Kind of coming in here. There we go. I don't think I want to do any more to it. I think it's done. Hour and 43 minutes. I'm going to sign my name on the bottom. Probably should do it over here. I would probably do it in Sharpie just to make sure. Put my initials down in there. This paint's really gloopy. Oh man, I just don't know if I want to do that. I think I'll use a Sharpie instead. Hopefully, over here. WJL 24. It's kind of in there. Right there. You know what? Maybe there's some birds flying in. Uh-oh. I think I messed this thing up. Okay. Let's just take these little black spots. Turn them into birds flying in. Off in the distance. Seagulls coming in at different times of the day too. They're coming in because somebody's roasting hot dogs on the they're roasting hot dogs on the beach. They're coming in to get their treat. Like that. Did I just ruin this? There we go. I think it looks like I ruined it. Okay. Hot dogs on the beach. And the seagulls are flying in for a treat. And there we have it. Cannon Beach, Haystack Rocks, sunset in August. All right, that's all I got for you guys. This is Random Guy Art Night, the 1010 production on the 999 ASMR Tarot visual textures. And those are the right cards to think about. Now I'm going to do, at this time, I'm always going to pull a tiny tarot card for the art to see what the tarot says the art was, what the energy of this art is. I like this tarot deck. Huh. Seven of Swords. Gathering up sticks. Seven of Swords. I wonder what that means with it. Seven of Swords. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Don't have all the cards memorized. The Seven of Swords, it's an escape. Actually, that is... It does that one keyword actually kind of works with it. We have escaped into this realm of a sunset beach. These inconsiderate seagulls are flying in to steal your food. That's what's going on here. And anyways, I wanted to thank everyone for watching, for tuning in to this live stream on the 1010 episode on Tuesday night. The next time I'm going to be on is Friday night at 10:10 p.m. Pacific time. Saturday night at 11:11 p.m. Pacific time. And on Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Pacific time. And I probably will have one or two pop-ups in the afternoon, sometime maybe tomorrow afternoon. I don't know. I got a lot of chores to do. Got wood to stack and stuff, and videos to edit. But nevertheless, I wanted to thank you all for being here tonight with me while we escaped into the imagination to create this beautiful work of art. And I couldn't have done it without you guys here too with me. So with that, I'm going to wish you a wonderful night, a great day tomorrow at school or work, or whatever it is that you're going to do for the rest of this week. Blessings and peace to you. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye. And thank you very much for being here with me today.